What's up YouTube? My name is Dante and I decided to take the first step and make my first YouTube video. So this video is just going to be about who I am and what I'm about, just introducing myself so you can know more about me. My name is Emil Robinson. My stage name is Dante Rose after finally settling on one stage name. I think this one's the keeper for sure though. I got the name Dante Rose from the Italian poet Dante, who made the Divine Comedy, and also from playing a bunch of Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Dante was always in the rotation, always on the team, as well as Ryu and Zero. Had a lot of fun playing that game, so that's where Dante comes from. And the Rose part comes from Chicago legend, Chicago Bull legend, Derrick Rose, youngest MVP in league history, and my personal hero. I'm born and raised in Chicago for 19 years now. I love everything about this city. I love all the people in it. I love the talent, the music, the scene. I love it all. I've been homeschooled my entire life, which was my mom's idea, which played a big role with my music, with my entrepreneurship, learning, my whole learning process and stuff like that. So I'm very thankful for the freedom and the lessons that I had being homeschooled, because it taught me how to be more independent, and it taught me how to learn too. I taught myself how to learn different stuff, so like guitar and Photoshop, all that stuff. I've always loved listening to pop and R&B. I grew up listening to V103, and for those of you who don't know, it's an old school R&B radio station, really big radio station in Chicago, and they played artists like Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, the Gap Band, the OJs, Isley Brothers, all of them. And my dad would have that playing on the radio anytime I was in the car. That helped start my love for R&B and neo-soul music. I also listened to a good bit of 90s and 80s rap, so Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, whole West Coast scene, the East Coast scene with Tupac and Biggie and them. So yeah, my music tastes are very diverse, because I started off playing classical bass when I was 8 or 9 years old, which I then transitioned to jazz bass. And around my freshman 8th grade year, my uncle actually gifted me a guitar, a cheap little Fender Squire, I want to say. It was one of those bundle packs that came with the amp, the case, and all that. So I didn't take it too seriously until my freshman, sophomore year, and I taught myself using YouTube. I taught myself using different guitar technique books and stuff like that. So that's how my playing guitar started for me. And I took the big leap and started switching to it primarily, switching over from bass to guitar more. So playing in different bands, different groups and stuff like that, just putting my focus mostly into guitar, jazz guitar, and I love it. I love guitar because when I think about the guitar, especially in rock music, it's pretty much the star, you know? I always envisioned myself, especially when I was younger, as the star of the band, the star of the show. Thinking back, I could have probably stayed with bass more, and I would have been the star still, but the role of the bass primarily it's a supporting role, right? So it's there to lock in everybody, and like a jazz band, it's the root, it's the timekeeper. Especially when you're walking bass lines, you're playing the root most of the time, right? So it's the center, it's the anchor of the band. But I want to be the star. I want to be the one that stood out. So that's why guitar was a perfect choice for me, and I loved it ever since. I've been playing bass for about 10 years now. I didn't start recording or writing music until 15, 16. And that's because my very good friend, Bryce, shout out Bryce, he took me to Harold Washington Library, and they had a media center there. little small studio, but you can get studio certified to use their equipment. They had a little iMac and mic stand, mic stuff with GarageBand on it. So that's how I got my start with recording. And ever since then, it's kind of just taken off. I've built a home studio. I've started producing for my own stuff, because before, when I was first starting, to record, I would use YouTube beats off of YouTube. And I would get frustrated because I couldn't release them legally, because I pretty much ripped them off of YouTube. So one summer in the After School Matters Jazz Band, which was my summer job, I saved up all my money. I bought a FL Studio. So that's how I got started producing, just learning the craft and learning how to make my own instrumentals and stuff like that. Ever since then, I've been collaborating with different artists, making different tracks for people, including myself. I don't really buy beats anymore. I make them myself because I have a clear vision of what the sound and the style I'm going for, the feel I'm going for. And most of the time, I wouldn't be able to get that off of a beat from BeatStars or YouTube unless I work with that person. My whole thing is about having control over my sound and having control of the idea, right? I'm very independent, so I like to make my own tracks, and I like to record on my own. I like to record my own stuff, mix my own stuff, and then release my own stuff. So now I'm just focused on still collaborating. I have a beat store I'm trying to build up, still working on perfecting my craft and my musicianship, but also releasing music and building a following of fans that like my sound. I want to be able to connect with them, have an emotional connection with them through my music. And that's what some of my favorite songs, and I'm sure some of your favorite songs too, you have an emotional connection with them, whether it be happy, sad, or breakup, something like that. I want to be able to create music that has an emotional connection with you. That's one of my biggest goals. Another goal I have is I'm incredibly obsessed with greatness, right? I studied Kobe. I studied Michael. Mostly Kobe though. Even though it's basketball, I'm able to learn and apply what I learned from Kobe in terms of discipline and work ethic, and understand where he's coming from, understand his story and why he worked so hard and how that translates to success. So I want to be the next Michael Jackson. I want to be the next Prince, right? I want to be up in that Mount Rushmore of artists, right? So I'm consistently improving my discipline, improving my work ethic, creating stuff, because I truly want to be great. I truly want to be great. That's my number one goal. I want to be the best musician of all time. So that's a little bit about me. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know how long this video actually is, but if you've enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media at Real Dante Rose. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of that stuff. So, hope you enjoy.